Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're here today to talk about something pretty special, a project from the Polytechnic Institute of Guarda in Portugal that's taking on a really big challenge. It's all about how we can bring the work of one of the country's greatest thinkers, Eduardo Lourenço, to a whole new generation. Let's dive in. So this is the central question, isn't it? How do we get today's students, who live in a world of instant information and digital everything, to really connect with a thinker from the past, especially when their ideas are complex, nuanced, and, well, deep? It's a huge challenge, but the solution this project came up with is just brilliant. And this is the man at the heart of it all, Eduardo Lourenço. Now, he wasn't just some philosopher in an ivory tower. He was a true cultural giant in Portugal. He spent his life wrestling with huge questions about what it means to be Portuguese, about national identity and cultural myths. That makes his work incredibly important, but you can imagine, also incredibly tough to teach. And that really gets to the core of the problem. You've got this massive, profound legacy of work. How on earth do you make it resonate with students today? How do you make it feel alive and relevant instead of just another name they have to memorize for a test?
So why him? Why this intense focus on Lourenço? Well, because he never took the easy route. He didn't just accept Portuguese identity. He took it apart, he questioned the long-held myths, and he looked at history with a critical eye. And the amazing thing is, his ideas are still sparking debates right now, which is exactly why he's so crucial to study.
All right, so here's our game plan for this talk. We'll start with Lourenço's legacy, then we'll jump into the really clever four-part methodology they developed. After that, we'll see the amazing results that came out of it, and finally, we'll talk about what this could mean for the future of education as a whole. Okay, so what was their big idea? What was the secret sauce? Well, instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, they created a system with 4 totally different parts, specifically designed to connect with every single kind of learner in the classroom. And at the heart of this project is a framework called the REAPS method. You can think of it like a 4-leaf clover. Each leaf represents a unique way of learning: theoretical, pragmatic, reflective, and active. This framework is what ensures that every student, no matter how their brain is wired, has a way to engage with the material. First up, you've got your theoretical learners. You know the type. They love to break things down, analyze concepts, look for the logic, and ask the big why questions. For them, the project provided the solid foundation of traditional bibliographic and documentary research. Then you have the pragmatic learners. These are the let me try it folks. They learn best by doing, by applying ideas to real-world situations, and by experimenting with new tools to see what happens. They need to make things tangible. And this is where it gets really, really cool and very 21st century. To get those pragmatic learners fired up, they brought in AI tools like ChatGPT. So students weren't just reading about Lourenço's ideas, they were using artificial intelligence to generate their own stories and create amazing visual art inspired by his philosophy. I mean, how incredible is that? Next up, the reflective learners. These are the deep thinkers. They need time and space to let ideas marinate, to look at a concept from all different angles, and to figure out how it connects to their own personal experiences. For them, it's all about finding that personal meaning. So to facilitate that deep personal reflection, the project used modern digital tools like Canva and Padlet. This allowed students to create these beautiful visual reflective journals and intricate mind maps, giving them a creative outlet to organize their thoughts and really grapple with Lourenço's big ideas on their own terms. And last but certainly not least, we have the active learners. These are the students who need to get up, move around, and get their hands dirty. They thrive in dynamic group activities and hands-on experiences. A lecture is just not going to cut it. They need to be part of the action. So for them, the project created this perfect blend of the digital and the physical. They used gamification platforms like EduPlay to make learning interactive and fun. And then, and this is key, they took a study visit to the actual Eduardo Lourenço Municipal Library, allowing them to connect with his work and legacy in a real physical space. Okay, so the methodology sounds amazing in theory, right? But did it actually work? Well, let's take a look at some of the tangible digital things the students created. This is where we see philosophy truly come to life. Check this out. This is a mind map created by a student. It is so much more than a summary of Lourenço's famous work, O Labirinto da Saudade. It visually connects his most complex themes about Portuguese identity directly to personal, introspective questions. This is deep thinking made visible. And remember those pragmatic learners? They created these incredible posters with the help of AI. And these weren't just pretty pictures. As you can see from the description, they were dense visual essays, weaving together symbols from Lourenço's life, his work, and Portuguese culture into a single, powerful image. And for a more active approach to learning, they used quizzes. But again, these were not your typical boring tests. They were gamified, interactive challenges that made checking your knowledge fun. Let's look at a few of the questions. They started with some foundational knowledge, like this question about the library named in his honor. It's a simple fact, but it's important because it grounds the abstract philosopher in a real physical place students could actually visit. Then, the quiz logically moves on to his most famous work. This reinforces the core text that the students were analyzing throughout the entire project, tying all the different activities together. But here's where it gets really smart. The quiz didn't just stop at facts. It pushed students to think more critically, asking them to analyze the core themes of his work. This is all about fostering genuine understanding, not just rote memorization. So, after seeing all this, what's the big takeaway? Well, this project is so much more than just a cool way to teach one philosopher. It might just be a powerful new model for how we teach the humanities in the 21st century. And really, it all boils down to this one powerful idea. When you blend cutting-edge digital innovation with real-world experiential learning, you can make even the most complex subjects engaging and accessible. It's proof that philosophy doesn't have to be intimidating. It can be vibrant, relevant, and very much alive. Ultimately, this isn't just about teaching the past. It's about giving students the tools they need to understand their present and shape their future. It leaves us with a compelling question. What other supposedly unteachable subjects could we bring to life with this kind of creative, blended approach? Thank you so much for your attention.